This is the easiest 100K a year social media marketing agency model. So first thing that I want to address to you more so than anything else is that social media marketing or social media marketing agencies doesn't have to be complicated. Reason being is because in this video, I want you to understand that having a 9-to-5 and trying to transition into something that will actually bring you financial freedom, give you more time, and on top of that, give you the ability in order to do everything that you want to do as a young individual is basically easy as possible if you follow this one agency model. So my promise in this video is that we're basically going to go over one simple agency model, which is short form organic content. And I'll basically describe, if I had to start from scratch from 2026, this is the only agency model that I've basically built in order to hit 100K. But before we get into that, if you guys are interested in actually learning how to do this within less than 90 days, you can click the first link in the description. Otherwise, we have like literally a community, a coaching program, and a course that you can basically follow in order to accomplish this. Other than wise, let's just get back into the video. So the first thing that I want to address is what is a short form content agency. It's essentially one avatar, one format, one result. So you basically help a specific niche show up daily with essentially reels, TikToks, shorts, and anything within short form usually. There's no ad spend required, it's all organic, and your value is essentially strategy, developing prompts, filming guidance, editing, and essentially repurposing. So I'm gonna give you literally 7 steps that you can follow so that way this is literally a baby can do it. So step number 1, you have to basically pick the right avatar. So what does that mean? Essentially, the criteria that we want to make sure that people are actually good enough to be a client of ours is that they have high LTV. What is high LTV? Is lifetime value. So essentially people that basically have a offer or a service or anything that they provide that costs a lot of money, so that way they can actually afford your services. And based off of that, these people that oftentimes need trust and a personal brand. Like for example, like lawyers, like real estate agents or accountants or anybody that basically has a high, I guess, cost skill that they need to get paid for, which also necessarily is based off of their personal brand that they develop parasocially or in real life. And plus, these are people that essentially are on social already but inconsistent, meaning that they basically post once a week or they post maybe twice a week or anything like that based off of short form platforms, but they don't have the ability to literally basically post every single day or multiple times every single day. An example would be essentially real estate agents, loan officers, coaches, consultants, local pros within their specific niche. The goal is essentially to be the content guy for one type of client, if that makes sense. The next step after that, once you develop your correct avatar or the right avatar for you, would essentially be craft a simple outcome-based offer. I'm gonna say that again, simple outcome-based offer. I don't want you to sell editing, I want you to sell results, being the amount of DMs, engagement, or calls, or essentially local awareness. So let's say if you were to structure an offer in the following format, it'd be like 8 to 12 short form videos per month, and essentially you batch film them in one session or using remote prompts. And essentially the positioning that you would basically like pitch this to other people who need this sort of service is essentially we help X niche show up every day on social so that they can stay top of mind and book more calls without learning to edit, if that makes sense. Very simple, very based on outcomes. Okay, so next thing is you want to use warm outreach to land your first clients. You essentially want to start with people who already know you, like your friends, your past clients, your IG followers, your Facebook followers, your TikTok followers, anybody that basically you have on social media platforms and local businesses that you know or go to on a consistent basis. And essentially you would either send them a DM or give them part of a list based off of your phone numbers, your contact list, emails, it really doesn't matter, but you essentially have this very simple script idea, which is essentially I'm helping blank turn simple phone videos or videos that you create with your own equipment into content that brings in leads. Want me to map out 10 video ideas and shoot and edit the first batch so you can see what it looks like? So you give them value, give them free value up front, and you essentially aim for the first 3 to 5 retainers as proof, or essentially clients that you basically work with in order to gain testimonials, plus case studies that you can use in the future, especially when you're generating sales calls for yourself and for your business, so that way people are gonna be like, dang, this dude actually provides really great results, whether it be in viewership or calls or clients or appointments that you basically want to set with your organic content. Then after you do that, you essentially turn your own content into a lead magnet or essentially micro triggers. So you essentially use short text or video posts with a comment to get X call to action. So an example would be agents that want to plug 10, that use 10 plug and play Reels scripts that turn views into buyer sells DMs, comment scripts, and I'll send them. Very simple. You could also use the same thing for you, but we like to use here at Erroneous by Design, we like to use a very simple framework called LCR, or essentially lead magnet, connection, and recommendation. So essentially you would have a lead magnet that would get sent the resource, being like, if you're an SMMA owner, it would be like a hook list, which we actually have a hook list that we provide to everybody, or any checklist or audit or any sort of thing that would actually provide value up front, then leads to connection, which is essentially one clarifying question about their situation when you send them the resource. And then after that, you give them a recommendation, which when you generate like a general conversation over DMs or your content comments or whatever it is that you get engagement from them, and you invite them to a content strategy call for yourself or a strategy call for your clients when you're developing this for. Anyway, that leads us to step 5, which is essentially build a simple delivery system so you don't burn out. This is super important because more so than anything else, people are always taking into considerations like, I have to post more, I have to edit more, I have to hire more, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You have to understand that every single process of your workflow, whether it be onboarding, whether it be shooting, whether it be filming or editing or ideation or delivery, you want to make sure it's as fast as possible so that way you can actually give less work to yourself, and that way you don't have to worry about like, I have to spend like 3 hours in order to do something. So for example, like onboarding, it should be like a 30 to 45 minute strategy call, basically talking about your client's offers, their frequently asked questions, their stories, their objections. Your content engine for each client essentially comes from this. That's why you do that. Then the filming options is essentially you can do an in-person shoot day or remote prompts where they can basically film on their phone. It depends on what your offer is and how much they want to pay you or how much you charge them, basically. And then editing comes into using templates, using same fonts, styles, captions. So work is repeatable and delegatable. Delegatable? You'll be able to delegate that in the future. And you essentially create specific templates that people can choose from. Usually having from 2 to 3 templates that people can choose from on a consistent basis is good. It's a good rule of thumb. And then delivery, essentially having a shared folder or a scheduler where you can basically post for them if that's basically part of your offer. Then we get into step 6. Once you develop a simple delivery system, step 6 is essentially pricing and the math to $100K a year. So essentially, we want to make sure that we have 2 to 3 clean packages, meaning like a starter package, a growth package, and essentially a VIP package, right? So the starter package would be like the least amount of effort for the least amount of delivery for a good amount of money. So it could be 8 videos a month. Then from there, we're providing the growth package, which essentially be more involvement into their business overall, which would be like 12 to 16 videos a month. And then we get to the VIP package, which would be like daily or multiple times a day with content posting and analytics as far as everything else is concerned to basically give them exactly what they need. And you would basically price this on value, not hours, essentially, right? So 1 to 2K a month would be a good rule of thumb if for the starter pack. From there, from the growth pack would essentially be like anywhere from 2 to 3K, and then VIP would be essentially 3K and above. And essentially from past to 100K a year, as far as like 8.3K months consistently over a year would be like 5 clients that pay you $1,700 a month, which would be 102K a month, or 7 clients paying you $1,200 a month. So it's literally dependent on what you want to do and how you want to price. Obviously, I would start off free if you're basically starting this from zero and essentially increasing your price, either doubling it or by 20%, depending on what your goal price at the end of the day is for your services when you literally reach a market cap for how much you can charge people. Anyway, so the next thing is step 7, and the final step before anything else in order to get to 100K would essentially add referrals and a light system to scale smoothly. So essentially what I want you to do once you develop all your systems and literally develop all your service delivery and everything in between, I want you to turn your clients into referral sources. So essentially you would tell them, bring me a client and I'll give you X amount of money or extra videos for free. Or you essentially track your clients' deliverables and your renewals in a simple sheet or a CRM or anything like that. And essentially you would include them to their already original offer that you provided them prior to, once you have them for like a substantial amount of time, let's say like 3 to 6 months, and they're getting really great results. And you essentially pitch them this idea. It's essentially like, I'll give you X amount of money, I'll give you extra deliverables, I'll give you a grandfathered price, and then from there, you could essentially have video editors or VAs to basically manage all that service delivery or client communication in order to make it actually justifiable for you. And then your role would essentially just be focusing on sales and marketing, so that way you can actually get clients through the door, working with clients that you already work with on a consistent basis, and it's people that you genuinely know will have money because it comes from the same pipeline, being your clients that you already signed on, if that makes sense. So just to recap overall in this very short video, which I will literally go into detail in other videos, but this is very simple. It's literally one avatar, one offer, one warm outreach system, micro trigger content, simple delivery, pricing math, and light systems in order to create it all. And essentially, this is why a short form organic content agency is the easiest path to 100K. I've literally done it myself, and you can do it in a multitude of different ways, especially like doing with ad work or with website delivery or including emails or including organic and ads at the same time. But at the end of the day, this is the simplest path, in my personal opinion, in order to get to 100K months, or 100K a year rather, leading up to a 7-figure income if you choose to do so. But if you want to learn how to basically do that and you enjoyed the video so much, click the first link in the description so that you can actually literally go to our coaching program, our course, and our community, where we basically teach people how to do this in less than 90 days. And like I think that's pretty awesome. Like 100K in 90 days, I think is a really great offer. And it works, because I've literally done it twice, and I've done it with my business partner on a third time as well. So if you want to do that, click the first link in the description. Otherwise, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because we put videos out like this every single day, because you don't want to miss them. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one. Peace.